recipe that I micro-engineered for a real good friend of mine, celebrity trainer Mark Jenkins. Mark is undisputably one of the greatest trainers on the planet. He's trained Mary J. Blige, Eve, Beyonce, Busta Rhymes, Puffy, the list goes on forever. Mark is definitely one of the most inspirational people I've ever met when it comes to training and diet. So when he called me and asked me to create a special dish for him, I jumped at the opportunity. The criterion for Mark is always the same thing. Extremely low carb, extremely high protein, and moderate fat, but good fats. Mark wants those fats that are rich with omega-3 fatty acids like this gorgeous Copper River salmon has. I'll tell you a little bit more about what makes this Copper River salmon so special further down the line. Alright, so you see that I'm basting the salmon here, but what is it that makes this dish so Maryland? So check this out. We're about ready to do this recipe right now. Alright, I'm using really good extra virgin olive oil here. Putting a good coating on the plate. I'm going to add some honey on top of that. It's really not going to mix and totally combine all that well, but as long as you mix it in real good, you'll get a nice coating for the salmon, which is going to give us great caramelization on the grill and end up working as a nice little basting sauce for the salmon as we're grilling it. You're going to want to use about 1/3 the honey to the olive oil. I had my fishmonger go ahead and pull off the skin of this nice Copper River salmon so that when I brought it back to my client's house, I wouldn't have to get disco scales all over the kitchen. This makes it real easy. I can put a knife in it and go ahead and turn it around this plate. Now watch what we're going to do here. We're going to take this salmon. You can see that I'm kind of massaging it in. Well, you've got that olive oil and the honey, so it does get a little bit slippery. And you can see it's not that easy to handle, but don't even worry about it. Make certain that the salmon is really well evenly coated with the olive oil and honey mixture. All right, now that we've got our salmon nicely coated with the olive oil and honey, I'm going to go ahead and use some Himalayan crystal salt. Himalayan crystal salt is probably the purest salt in the world. You can go ahead and use kosher salt, iodine, whatever you like. My preference is kosher salt if I don't have a great Himalayan crystal salt, Caspian Sea black salt, something like that. Now that our fish is coated on both sides, salted on both sides, now it's ready for the grill. So we'll go ahead and take it outside. The grill should be nice and hot and ready to go. So now we're ready to put the salmons down on the fire. This grill has been really well heated, thoroughly cleaned, and sprayed with PAM. You can see, by the way, I'm moving the salmon here. I'm just checking it. You don't want to move it too soon. You really want the salmon to crust. All right, so now that I put the salmon down, went ahead and turned the flame down a little bit, down to about a medium heat. All right, I tell you what, let me tell you what makes this so Maryland. Old Bay seasoning. Man, that is the flavor of Maryland seafood. Old Bay is the standby for seasoning for seafoods. You go into the markets there, man, there's aisles that have nothing but the massive cans of Old Bay. It really is that Maryland flavor. All right, now check this salmon here. The salmon is cooking perfectly. The fire's not too hot. We're not burning anything. Look at this. See this turn? See those grill marks? Perfect. We're not killing the salmon. We're not overcooking it. Now we're going to hit it real hard with this Old Bay seasoning because we really want that Maryland flavor. Now, the reason I didn't put it on first is so I didn't want it all to burn off with the excessive heat of a grill. Plus, I want that to be the primary, the flavor that's in the forefront. So we're going to seal this in by basting this with that nice olive oil and honey mixture that we originally coated in. It's going to give it a great crust. All right, after I get this really well coated with that olive oil and honey, I'm going to close the lid on this and let this cook a little bit more thoroughly on the inside of the salmon. Remember now, I don't have the flame blazing high. I've got it on relatively a low heat. It's still going to generate a lot of heat. We don't want to do this too fast and burn the salmon. So right now, I'm just going ahead making certain that my salmon fillets are sitting well on the grill, and I'm getting ready to close this grill and let these things cook for another 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, really get a good coating on there. You know, that olive oil and honey, you can't go wrong with that. I'm telling you, that flavor is unbelievable. That honey's gonna really caramelize. It's really gonna glaze the salmon. You'll see when we reopen up this grill what this is gonna look like. All right, now check this. The salmon has been cooking. It's probably got about 6 minutes on it. You see that touch right there? When you touch the salmon, I can see the give on the inside. It's still a little rare. So we're going to close the lid like we did and let it cook a little bit more. I should tell you that the lid was closed for probably another 2 to maybe 4 minutes. Now I feel like our salmon is ready to go. It's ready to come off the grill. It's just slightly undercooked. There's going to be a little bit of a carryover, so you don't want to overcook the salmon. See that? That's when it's ready. See that little bit of bounce? That's it. That's what we want right there. Not overcooked, just right. All right, here's a little bit different look at the salmon. We're looking at it from the top down now. See those nice grill marks? You can look at this salmon. You can see it's absolutely vibrant. You can see when I'm picking it up. And don't be afraid to get in there with your hands, you know, to scoop it up. It's not going to hurt you. A little warm, but no big deal. Check this out. This is good. All right, now that our salmon's all grilled, we're going to put it back in the plate that we originally marinated on and get ready to plate up. All right, so check it. Here I'm putting down a really nice orange Vidalia onion vinaigrette. This is really going to pair well with the olive oil and honey that we use to glaze and marinate the salmon with. This Copper River salmon is amazing. Guys, Copper River salmon, or any of these really long river salmon, have a ton of fat stored up. They really take well to the grill, and a salad like this is really going to rock. And with that, you get those nice omega-3 fats that Mark's looking for, super low carb, real high protein, lots of roughage. Mark, this one's for you.